Episode 9. No disclaimers. Train is moving. Let's go.
Can I move to California and keep my head held high? These bipolar East Coast forecasts, they leave me fried, and I got lonesome there. Since the day she died, I've never been too good at saying long goodbyes. So write me one good song and dry my sister's eyes, and bury me in Philly when I die. Bury me, bury me, yeah. If I delete all my profiles, can I make you come? A digital golden calf at first, it seemed like fun, but it gets lonesome there, and I could use some sun. All the clicks and likes, they feel like hit and runs. I'm turning off my phone, I'm turning in my gun. You can bury me in Philly when I'm done. Bury me, bury me. Get my 65 to 10 and try my sister's eyes, and bury me in Philly when I die.
Hello. Carl Steinler coming back at you, kind of live from my lovely home here in South Orange County, Ladera Ranch, California. You know the drill, the bubble within the bubble. But I use that all lovingly. It's a very special and magical place, this little bubble of ours we have here. The type of place you just say, hi, son, daughter, you go have fun, mob with your e-bike on your friends, maybe crash, get hurt a little bit, talk back to authority, just be home for dinner. A nice dinner cooked by mom. And what is this, you ask? Just a show. What am I saying? Am I babbling right now? Maybe a little bit, but hey, that is what it's all about on this podcast, this community-based show, community-based podcast. If you got something to say, I want you to email cstein, C as in cat, STEIN 33 at iCloud.com, and we will get you on the show. Get to know thy neighbor, my friends. That's really the point of this show. So far, I feel we've been moving. All my guests to this point in date, I'm so grateful for. And episode 9, I'm blown away. I feel like I'm truly making new friends, getting to know people, and that is what it's all about. So tonight, I have a very, very special man sitting in the chair tonight. A little bit of a transplant. I've been here for almost 3 years, originally from NorCal, and he's just going to drop some knowledge with us here tonight. So, Mr. Derek Willner, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the show, my friend.
Hello. Slight correction. I'm not originally from Northern California. I was living in Northern California before I moved down here. Prior to that, I was East Coast kid.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Hence the Bury Me in Philly song.
I was going to ask about that. Why that song? I love starting a show off with a correction. It's going to be a good night, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Totally.
Okay, so why bury me in Philly?
So that's from a guy named Dave Haas, who was the lead singer of a band called The Loved Ones, which is a Philly punk band. I grew up outside Philadelphia in Wilmington, Delaware, the home of Joe Biden. He literally lives a mile.
Is it really? Oh, it is?
Yeah, lucky us. But yeah, so I spent a lot of time in Philly, so I would say I identify a lot more with Philly than anywhere else as far as, I've lived out west for, 23 years now, but there's always that part of me that's going to be full on Philly. So
I think I was telling you before, that's my favorite city back east, between New York, Boston, Philly. I loved
it's just
Washington, D.C., obviously.
Yeah. I went to school right outside D.C., so I lived there for 5 years. But, Philly's just, it's unapologetic. It's just fucking Philly. And, one of the slogans for the Eagles is, no one likes us and we don't care. And that's just the fucking truth of it.
Boomshockalocka!
People just don't fucking care if you don't like them or not. So, I'm not going to sit there and brag on it like it's the best city of all time and all that kind of shit. It's just who I am, and just, I just feel like that's kind of goes in tune with me as a person. I'm just I'm cool, but I just don't give a fuck, what everybody thinks. I don't try to do the stuff where make everybody like you, just be yourself. So I think that
I respect that.
Yeah.
It does come with age, you know. But I mean, I respect that huge. Why were you getting some flack when you decided to move out here?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, like growing up on the East Coast, it's just a different world. Like, I mean, it's just a different, like, kind of harder, tougher kind of edge to it. Very traditional, very, like, you know, just the really good people. Like, but you know, they're not soft. They're not nice to everybody. So, you know, they
maybe because it's always so cold there, huh?
Yeah. There's a lot of bitterness, but, you know, like, they just have a different version of California, right? But, like, for me, you know, like, I lived there from when I was in, like, first grade to high school. And
Wilmington.
And
is it describe it? Like, is it like Covenant, or is it like here, or is it...
No.
I imagine, like, nice, like, plantation-style houses, or, like, Connecticut, you know, there's, like, super nice places in Connecticut.
I mean, it's, like, you know, there's definitely nice sections of it, but it's a very working class.
Where's Biden living, dude? You know, he ain't living in no shanty.
No, he lives in, like, you know, you know, Wilmington's, like, you know, it's a city that's been around for hundreds of years. So
like, what's the population, if you had to guess?
I think it's maybe 500,000 or 600,000.
Oh wow, we got like 25,000 here, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe, so, but we're strong, dude. We're like the 300.
Right. Well, no, I'm just saying the whole
nice
city.
Nice little enclave we got going on here.
Yeah, no. So it's just a different part of the world. Very working class. Like, that's kind of, you know what it is. Definitely some nice suburbs and all that kind of shit, like everything else. But yeah, just a different town, different.
So
place.
when you were in high school, would it be like fat house parties, or would you party out in like the farmlands and just
no. I mean, we're like city proper. Like, so I was like 20 minutes outside Philly. So like, that's where, you know, we were constantly running amok in Philly, and then just you know, outside it, there's like areas like Westchester and you know, they call it Delco, Delaware County. But yeah, so like, I mean, we were like definitely suburban.
So living in a city, how easy was it to drink underage?
Pretty easy.
Just walk into liquor stores pretty much and buy them.
Yeah, out there, you can't buy booze at a supermarket or even a corner store. You got to go to liquor stores. And so it's like, it's one of those things, you just go to the bad section of town, they double charge you for it, and that's just the way it is. But,
right?
So
right? I love that.
That was just kind of us, like, pulling up, you know, and they're like, you know, in a drive-through liquor, and they're just like, how old are you? We're like, 22, sir. They're like, uh-huh. Yep. That
$40.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like we were drinking like Mad Dog and Thunderbird.
Ice House.
Just Ice House. Just the shittiest beers.
Schlitz.
Yeah. And they would charge us, you know, like a case would be $10. They charge us 20. It was what it was. Because we were just like, yeah, we were just prep school kids that they knew they can get the money from us.
Yeah, that's East Coast. Prep school's an East Coast thing, I feel like.
East Coast. Very East Coast.
So what was the reason? Just because public schools were too gnarly, or what?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, there's some decent public schools, but, you know, like, I just was raised, like, I've always gone to Catholic school, right? Like, K through college. Never gone to public school. I don't know what it's like until, you know, the first time that I'm dealing with, like, public schools. Like, my daughters are here in Ladera going to public school, but, you know, back east, it's just, like, super, like, you know, like, everything's traditional. So it's like very generational. So like my high school is like 150 years old or something like that.
Dang, dude.
So it's, I mean, it's cool. It's just
haunted.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I mean, you know, I actually have a lot of pride in my old high school. It's called Salesianum. And it's just like, it's one of those things that we have a hardcore brotherhood there. And, you know, it's like your kid, you know, you graduate, you get married, you have kids, your son goes there. So it's been going on for, you know, 100 plus years.
Do you have a son?
I do not.
Would you send him there?
If I was living in Wilmington and I had a son, yeah, I would, most definitely.
Because that's like the best option in Wilmington.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of super, like, kind of snooty private schools, but, like, you know, the all-boys prep, you know, that's just kind of, like, the world I came from. So, yeah, I got nothing but good things to say about it.
Sorry, type in this.
Oh, good.
All right. So, you would live there, or would you go home every day?
No, I didn't live there.
Okay.
It wasn't like one of those, like, it wasn't a boarding school. We had those around us too.
What's that movie from back in the day where they all live in the boarding school and like the terrorists try to take it over? Oh, it's a classic.
I don't know about
That's what I imagine when you say like prep school. That's what I think of. You know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah,
dude, it's a classic.
I thought you were gonna talk like Son of a Woman or like what was that?
No, I want to say it's like a Steven Seagal one or maybe like a Van Damme or something. You know, a classic.
Yeah, no, but I was gonna say there's like Dead Poets Society that was filmed at an all boys, or that was filmed at a a boarding school actually in Delaware.
Okay, wait, and do
St.
terrorists try to come take it over? Okay,
No,
gosh,
it's
darn
old
it.
school. It's like Robin Williams and this like really like
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yes,
That is a good one for sure. Gnarly. Okay. So you went home every day, but it was just like a private school almost.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's just like like I said, it was an all boys prep, just standard issue, like coat and tie, like it was we were always told to be gentlemen and scholars.
Okay.
So that's what we did during the day, but at night we sure should.
But at night it was into the city.
It was all things fun.
And what would go down in the city? Would it be like music clubs or venues, or would it just be like cruising? Or?
I mean, concerts obviously go to hit those up, and then just I don't know. I wasn't exactly the good kid, so it was just like us just like drinking or getting our hands on whatever we can do, and
that's all relative though.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to get that out of your system,
Totally.
when you're that age. Versus, I've seen people fall off the deep end. Sometimes as they get older, you saw it a lot in college, or at least I did.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the newbies didn't know how to handle their booze, and then they're failing out after their freshman year.
yeah, and they're just with a bunch of dicks. Like high school, I feel like you're with your core group of friends, right? And then you kind of all separate as it goes to college. So high school is like really the time, in my opinion, to mess around with that stuff.
We were seasoned party professionals by the time we graduated. So, like I said, it was like going to college. Like I was like, yeah, of course this is what we do, and people were like, what? Like they'd never gotten drunk or never gotten stoned or anything like that. And I was just like, seriously, what you guys do in high school? I mean, it was like, we did shit. Like I had good grades. I played lacrosse and, some other sports. It's not like I was some like fucking derelict, but we had a good time. And I don't know, I guess I thought everybody did the same thing, but apparently not.
Huh? Right? Woo! People are tripping, dude. People are tripping.
Well, it seems like the younger generation, man, they don't like to party. Like,
it's so dangerous. I mean, like fentanyl? I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's really like everywhere. If it's really that little teeny amount, it's gonna like kill you. But gosh, it's we didn't have those problems. This fentanyl shit, all this prescription shit.
Well, our neighbors their kids had a party the other day.
Was it a rager? Or was it like whack?
Well, it's literally they told all the neighbors that they're not going to be there. The kids are going to be there for the next 4 or 5 hours. They're not going to be drinking, and it's going to be all
get
good.
out of here.
Yeah. Well, no, we heard the bottles clinking. We heard the kids shouting, chugging.
Yeah.
And I'm like, duh. Of course you're going to do that. Like, you're in fucking high school. This is like what you're supposed to do. But it was not a raucous party at all. Like, I've heard a couple of them driving around Ladera.
Yeah, I've heard one like in my street in Covenant. I hear. I'm like, you hear bottles clinking and stuff. I'm like, I like it. It's
like, come on,
keep going.
You want your kids to have a good time. Just don't be too much of a dickhead. But like me and my friends were total dickheads. Like we drank, we did whatever the hell we wanted, and like we didn't really think too much into like what we were if we were damaging people's property or just being jerks. So,
yeah, that's tough. That's one thing I really wish, or looking back, in the rare instance, I was never a property damager, but I hate like
I was.
You were? Oh, dog.
Yeah, me and my friends. I mean, again.
Well, like public property or like private property? A mixture of both. All right.
Yeah. Like we were those kids that like did like, like mailbox baseball, and then it got real boring. So we decided they were going to start running over for sale signs in front of people's houses. Like that was the new thing. Like turf their lawn, run that over. And then, like the holidays come. And
wouldn't that jack up the car though, dude? It's a big old freaking metal.
Yeah, my friend had
wood pole.
Yeah. Well, no, my friend had a piece of shit like 78, like
there we go.
Some crappy car that he didn't care what
jalopy.
happened to it. Yeah, total jalopy. We called it the gravy train, and it was just like
chicks dug it. I bet.
Oh, dude, no.
No. Oh, my buddy used to have a piece of crap too, and goes because you could just do whatever you want in that car.
No, it was fun, but yeah, like we do dumb shit like that, just like drive over people's I
remember we used to not one time. I have it on video somewhere actually. We're driving through. It's like trash day. Mm-hmm. My buddy had a piece of scrap car, and we just like are tagging trash can for trash can. Trash is flying over our window, dude. And we're like cracking up and just like looking back on that now, like wow.
Yeah, we were
like obviously we were a little bit inebriated and just like, dude.
Yeah, it was just like depending on like the mood, right? Obviously, if there was a party and there was like some things going on, that's what you did. But it was just like, I'm bored. What do you want to do? Let's go break shit.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty much it. But those days are gone. Now I'm dead, and I'm like, God, I hope more.
Well, because of no sunshine, then you came to California, I bet, exactly. And
People are just
started smiling a little more,
Yeah,
maybe
for
breaking
sure.
less shit.
For
So,
sure.
okay, so tell me about that. So high school ends and then...
So high school ends. I went to school in Virginia at a private school called Marymount. Went there for 5 years, played lacrosse. Like lived in London for a little bit. Had just a good time. And then like for me, I was just like I always wanted to move. To California. That was my thing. I lived here for a couple years when I was a kid, and then the whole time I always felt like I was supposed to be in California. So I wanted to go out to school out here, but my mom wouldn't pay the tuition. I had to go to a private Catholic school on the East Coast. So that's what I did. And then, it was like, so I ended up moving out here literally within a couple weeks notice and just, was like, fuck it, let's get it done. So I moved to San Francisco and, the idea was just to, get weird and have a good time.
So straight to SF.
Straight to SF.
Wow.
Yeah. So I moved there and, I moved out there in 1999. And it was like,
1999. Oh, you're not a hip hop guy, huh?
Yeah. No.
See, I was about to drop some old Bone Thugs on you. Sorry about that. Okay,
Oh,
99.
good.
That's a good year, dude.
Yeah.
Right before everything was supposed to crash,
Totally,
our bank accounts were supposed to reset.
Yeah.
All of it.
So yeah, I moved out there, and that was right when the .com boom, the first
Oh
one
yeah.
happened. And it was fucking insane. It was like you couldn't find a place to live. Rent was crazy expensive. All these companies were just throwing these lavish, wild parties. And it was so much fun. So that was like my introduction to the work world.
Were you working and then you got transferred there? Or you came out here and just applied?
Yeah. No,
okay, so where was your first job?
My first job when
in Frisco.
In Frisco was at this advertising firm. And I was there for, that's what I went to school for, like marketing and advertising. So I was there for, like 4 hot months before we lost the client. And then I lost my job, learned a valuable lesson. So
it's all about those life lessons, baby.
Totally. But then,
do you mind sharing how we lost them or some
no.
do's and don'ts for any advertising account execs out there?
Yeah, no, this is way above my pay grade. It was just, I was there. I mean, I kind of got hooked up with the job because like my cousin, she was the client for the advertising. She worked for Union Bank of California, and like she kind of got me in. Basically, was just like, "Hey, you need to hire him because like that's my cousin, and we're paying your salary."
Yep.
But then their accountant ended up leaving, so I ended up getting the door. It wasn't just me; it was like a bunch of people. They lost the whole team.
Gnarly, dude.
That's just the nature of advertising. But yeah, so anyway, it was just like a super fun time. I was there for the boom and then the bust. And the bust was actually probably one of my favorite times in San Francisco because it was like, it cleared out everybody from like, talking like 2001, 2002 to like 2006. Like there wasn't a lot of jobs there. Technology had not hit the city yet. So it was like, if you wanted to live there, you'd live there. And it was, there was always opportunities, but it's not like what it has been for the past, like however many 15 years before this crash. So, but yeah, that was an amazing time. Like that's when the city was just like so full of life, and it was just a great magical town. But yeah, so I lived in the city for 13 years, and then got married, moved up to Marin, just north over the Golden Gate Bridge. Lived there for 9 years, and then moved down here about 3 years ago. So.
Dang, Marin, I love Marin. San Anselmo,
totally.
Stinson. We talked about Stinson a little bit. It's so sharky and just.
Yeah.
You earn your stripes up there.
Totally.
I was telling you, Ocean Beach. That's another.
Yeah.
Well, that's Frisco, but.
Well, my favorite thing about living in Marin, I ride a motorcycle, not as much as I used to when I lived up north, but it was like, it was like 10 minutes from my house. You got this thing called Lucas Valley, and you would be on these like 1-lane roads. You wouldn't see people for, like 15, 20 minutes, like just nothing ever like you see down here in Southern California. People are everywhere 24 hours a day. There, it's like you go out there and you're like up into like Bodega Bay, Mendocino, Humboldt.
Bodega Bay is so sick.
Yeah, and like you just didn't see people. So for me, that was like the thing that I loved the most was like just being able to hop on my bike and just go cruise around. And it's just like like you're cruising down the coast. There's barely anybody out there, and then you get up into the into the redwoods and shit like that. That was my favorite part of living in Marin. Like, that's the stuff I liked. And then, obviously, like, it's just, like, super natural. There's, like, tons of, like, hiking and biking and, like, the beaches, whatever. But, yeah, it was cool.
So, were you still raging when you first got over there? After you lost the ad job 4 months, then what?
Oh, in San Francisco, I partied for, the whole time I was there. So, but, yeah, so, like, throughout my time in San Francisco, I worked in advertising. And then I eventually moved into technology. And then so I did the whole like startup and software scene. And then, I eventually, like now I work in gaming, but yeah. So like, I mean, there's so much time in San Francisco that happened, so many different chapters of my life, but like, that's kind of the abridged version. Had a really good time, worked for a bunch of cool companies, made a lot of really good friends. And I mean,
are a lot of them still there? Are they moving out too, or
a mix of both? I do have people that stayed in. Some live in the city. Most moved out.
But you never lived in the city, so you were always in Marin or over the bridge, or
no. I lived in San Francisco for 13 years.
Oh,
and then I lived in Marin for 9 years.
Dang. Okay, wow.
Yep. But
wow.
So I still got people up there, but it was kind of during around the time of the pandemic, things were not great. So I think we just, my wife's family's from down here, so we decided to.
I bet they were rubbing it in, huh? I bet there was like nothing to do up there, and they were just rubbing it in hard.
Well, no, it was just like they wanted to hang out with family, and like it was just kind of like because it was
super weird.
Do you remember lockdown up there, big time? So,
but people were just acting weird. I remember my wife. Gosh, I love my wife, but she'd order groceries. And then she'd like let them sit out there for 2 hours. And she'd like spray Windex or not whatever, Lysol or disinfectant or whatever on them. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, what alternate universe am I living in right now?
I'm so glad that fucking time is over. That just sucked.
I know, but what's the Bill Gates says 2025 is the next one? No.
No, I don't.
You never heard that?
No, of course. I just don't believe anything Bill Gates says. Like he's just
really.
I think he's just making himself into his own god. It's just like they get to.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Sometimes his things kind of come true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't listen to the tech people much anymore. I've seen enough of their.
They are just to the left as left can get.
Well, they just like make shit up, and then they have a bunch of yes men that sit around and nod them and tell them how great they are.
It's how gnarly was it? That's why I like Elon releasing those files. That's the violation of the First Amendment for Twitter to censor.
Oh, for sure.
Accounts like that, and let liberal ones fly. Like that is such a violation of.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised, and I think it's great that Elon bought Twitter. I really do. I think it's fucking fantastic.
I hope he can make money off it and turn it into something profitable.
I'm sure he will. I know, like for me, it's just like I don't care if we're on the left or the right. Just like everybody should have a say, right? And you can't shut people down because you don't like what they're saying. Like that's not America. It's just not. And like to call it something that it's not, like it's a hate speech or it's this, it's that. It's like no, stop. You just don't like the opinion, right? Like we understand. You might not like something, but don't label it something that it's not. I think that's like the thing that, I don't know, drives me nuts, but whatever.
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's so true. There's not a lot of room for disagreeing with someone's opinion right now in society, which is a very sad and strange thing. So, all right, let me get into some life pro tips here. We're both married men. Number one life pro tip: professional house cleaning is cheaper than you think and can relieve stress in your relationship. True or false?
True.
You have a house cleaner?
Definitely.
Yeah. How often?
Twice a month.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Or we probably once a month lately. I don't know.
We have to do it. I'm a little OCD, and so is my wife. So we're on the cleanliness train. It's good. Like I think that was like one of the cool things. Like when we first started dating. And we were like hanging out and like living together and stuff. It's like I noticed how clean she was, and she was like, "You're clean for a dude." I'm like, "Yep." So,
but you guys won't clean.
No, we do. I mean, we clean, dude. I clean every day. She cleans every day. It's just like we just want it to
gotta have that extra clean.
Yeah. Because it's like we're just at that phase in our life where I'm not going to spend 5 hours on a Saturday scrubbing my house when somebody else can do it. No, support the economy. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, okay. I like that. Boomshockalocka. Dang, thank God. I was going to say, you don't have any sons, huh?
No.
Oh, yeah. So the house will stay nice and clean, dude.
Chicks are pretty messy, man.
Right? Do your wife and your oldest one get into it ever? Like, about, like, do you see it? Like, my oldest daughter, 8, her and my wife always go at it in the morning about school clothes. You know,
Yeah.
she's just
Oh, for
yelling about clothes
For
and what
sure.
to wear, like
Yeah.
freaking out. And
Yeah, no,
my wife's like going right back at her, you know, or Kelsey, and it's great.
Yeah, well,
It's
my
great.
my oldest is now 11, and she's like 11 going on 16. So she's starting to like trying to dress it up a little bit. And there's definitely been like, you know, my wife's like, no, you're not wearing that. You know what I mean?
Rewind. Yeah.
And the same thing with me. I'm like, I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like, you're never gonna wear a fucking crop top in front of me. Like that's just not gonna happen. Like, you know, I'm sure you're gonna do it when I'm not looking, but I'm never gonna be like, yep, go for it. You look great. You know, when you're 11 years old, not gonna happen. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, they have moments, but I don't know. I don't like. We live in a pretty chill house. Like things are in a good spot right now. We'll see what happens with the teenage years go, but like right now, it's a cool kind of. You know, I have an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old, and like, you know, it's me and 3 chicks and 2 dogs. But you know,
It's like a
good vibe.
Brady Bunch.
Totally. But it's
mini Brady Bunch.
Yeah. I don't know. I tell people all the time, like, you know, the first couple of years of being a parent, I think is really tough. You know, especially like with the first one, and then, but you know, once the kids turn like 3 or 4, I mean, they get like, in my opinion, they get like super fun, right? And it's just like, and now it's like, you know, my kids like their parents, they're not mad at us yet, they're not angry, you know, so it's like, you know, they want to hang out and they want to do stuff. Everybody's like, that's gonna go away. But whatever.
Nah, dude, you and I are cool dudes. That ain't going nowhere.
Hopefully.
You said they hang out at your house too, right?
Totally.
Like,
Yeah. All the kids are at my house all the time. Like, we were definitely the party house. That's the way my house was too when I was a kid.
Same, brother.
Yeah.
Same.
Got to keep them there.
Yeah, keep them there and just
Keep your eyes on 'em.
I mean, a lot of my friends from I started making like core friends in 7th grade. That was when junior high was for me, 7th, 8th. And a lot of those guys, a core group of 6 of us that have all been groomsmen at each other's weddings. You know, it gets harder because we all have kids now, we still talk, and it's yeah, dude, and that all just came from high school, loving each other young, and you know, I'm all for. I would let my kids chill, right? Because I don't know, it just depends on the circumstance. I mean, if I don't think Kelsey would ever go for it, but you know, they're going to drink somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to freaking.
Yeah.
Can't be naive to that.
Totally. I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, look, you're never going to get away with anything. Just don't fucking do it.
Hell no.
I'm like, I wrote the book on it. Like, just,
you better hope I'm on a business trip
Yeah.
and mom's home only or something,
Yeah.
because your ass is toast if I see you.
No, I just try to be straight with them. I'm like, look, dude, just
So what are you going to do when you find their stash, dude?
spill it.
Flush it?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I don't know. I mean, my wife's probably going to want to lay the slap down on that, but it's like, you know, like, I don't know. I think I started drinking when I was like 14. So it's kind of like, you know, it's just, it depends like in the situation. But like, yeah, I mean, I got busted a bunch of times and like, it was like, oh, you're grounded. And it was like a week later, I'm like back at another party. You
know, one thing I'm sad about with today's society is a rite of passage. I always kind of looked forward to the day that, and I don't mean this like degrading to women at all, but that I'd find a Playboy under my son's bed. Does that make me a bad dude? Or?
No, I think it's okay.
Okay, but that's, I mean, there's no magazines. Is Playboy even a magazine anymore? Is it all digital?
No,
I don't even
it's
know.
all digital.
But it used to have some great articles. I was never a subscriber, but I had friends would have it. Or I mean, whenever I got a chance to read, I remember reading some like Jose Canseco had an epic interview in there back in the day.
Yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson used to write pieces for him.
Totally.
I mean, there's actually Playboy magazines out there worth thousands of dollars because of the
I don't know.
writing in them.
I mean, that's the thing about the internet, man. It's like it's ruined a lot of things that we just, we didn't realize how special they were, right?
Yeah.
Like, like for me, it's just like, you don't
surf and skate mag.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was, as a kid, always, Thrasher's still around, but it's not like what it was, and it's just like
Boomshockalocka!
Even that, and just like fucking Rolling Stone or Spin,
Yeah,
or
right.
Revolver, right? Like where you just want to read about music and see like
all
that
politically correct and crap. Thrasher still kind of keeps it real though.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they're
just think,
gnarly.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of that. I think that culture and that art. Like it's the same thing. I would say
people afraid to use their First Amendment right.
Well, just people don't read anymore. That's what's sad. I mean, like. I'm glad like Nat Geo's still going down. Like it's beautiful. Like I think it's cool. But like,
well, I'm guilty of it too, dude. Do you use any of this like new AI stuff?
Nah, I've done it a little bit, but like
So not ChatGPT.
I've done ChatGPT, but
So there's other like widgets. You know how Google Chrome, or I don't know what web browsers you use, but Google Chrome is what I use, and it has like widgets.
Mm-hmm.
You can add little widgets to your toolbar or your Google
for sure.
bar. And one of the AI ones I've added is like full on like summarize this article. So it could be like on Forbes or you know Vice or wherever I'm at, and I'll click this button and it's pretty damn good, dude.
Yeah, I'm pushing back as far as until it comes and
it also writes emails for me and stuff. Another app.
No, people use it. I mean, and I know it's coming.
I gave it access to all my other email files so it could like get to know me. I swear to God, dude, so it could get to know me and reply like me. I promise you.
Wow.
I S you not, dude.
I'm not gonna go that deep yet. Like, I just feel like, didn't anybody watch the Terminator?
Oh,
like I mean,
Boomshockalocka!
You know, like Cyberdyne Systems. Like this is like we're creating our own demise.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, have you seen the robot videos, the robot gymnastics and all that stuff?
Yeah, I've seen some of that stuff. Yeah,
where how they move and it's honestly like
it's
like if you just throw a skin on that thing,
we're creating our own replacements. I don't understand where people don't see this as coming.
Well, I mean, okay, talk to me about that because you might know about this more than anybody. Do you mind sharing that you're a recruiter?
Oh yeah. So
okay.
I mean,
so do you see automation? Like, are you not recruiting for jobs now that you would have been recruiting for 2 years ago?
No, we haven't gone down that deep yet. But like just like beyond out, just outside my world, I know where it is in tech companies right now. And like the hot button is all AI. You know, like my wife works for Adobe. They put something out about a month ago about how like one of their new Firefly is working with AI, and their stock has gone up.
What does Firefly do?
I think it's just like, I don't know enough to say. It's like, I mean, Adobe does creative software, right?
Yeah,
like
the best, the Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator,
so
Premiere. Yeah,
they're going to be, you know, mixing AI with that, where it's just like, you know, I don't know the whole thing, but just the talk is like, everything is like, you're going to be able to tell it to like build shit and design shit for you, and it does it.
Totally. So I might. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, we're literally creating stuff to get rid of us. Like, what are people going to be needed for anymore? Like, machines are going to do everything. And
not just that, like, I gave it all my access to read all my emails, to get to know me, to freaking be me.
I can't go down.
I'm just go ahead. I'm like, you know what I am, dude? I'm that big old fat person in Wall-E, the cartoon Wall-E on the plane. You know, they just sit them all in chairs and shuffle them. You know what I'm saying,
That's what I
dude?
don't want to be, man.
I know, but hey.
I mean,
that's what you're saying is going to happen.
Well, I just feel like, you know, like we created machines that are already like replacing people, like to build things, right? Like it's unreal how quick they build things now. And, you know, you've got these machines that are going to be masons. You've got, you know, that you know, auto plants, you name it. They're all mechanized. Now we're giving machines the power to think, which is the one thing we control, or we're supposed to control. So I'm just like, again, like, it's a matter of time before it becomes self-aware. And then it's like, hey, these guys are the problem. Gone.
I forget the guy's name. I think he used to work for Google, but he was like one of the AI pioneers or founding fathers of AI. And he started a petition saying that like there needs to be basically limits and controls on how much the machine can learn, or machine learning limits or protocols or
I mean, I'm sorry, like I'm a fan of Elon. When Elon says there's a problem, I tend to listen. You know,
dude, I hate it. Neuralink or whatever just got FDA approved. I think they're still like years or two away from actually implanting the brain thing in.
Yeah,
but they got FDA approval.
I just think that stuff is too dangerous, and it's
gnarly though. How do you compete in a world, in a business world especially, with somebody that has Google or ChatGPT at their fingertips, in their eyes or brain? I don't know how it's going to work. Do you know how Neuralink is supposed to work?
No, I honestly, I am trying to keep my distance from all that stuff. It's just like, because I'm seeing people get so excited about it, and like, I'm just like, this is going to be the end of us. Like, I'm not going to. So, yeah, I mean, it's all going to be there no matter what happens. But for me, it's just like, you know, I just don't want to go down the AI train yet. I want to see what it does to everybody else first.
I like that. So. Okay. Hey, fair enough. All right. Next one. Life pro tip. Ask a person you are dating what their values are on dating, marriage, kids, religion, politics, and other non-negotiables of yours in the first few weeks. Waiting for the right time results in unnecessary heartbreak due to emotions being overly invested months down the road.
Boomshockalocka!
I agree. I did premarital counseling before I married my wife, and I felt like it's awesome because we talked about a bunch of that stuff. And, but like, I don't know, that'd be tough to be with somebody for, 10 years plus. And it's like, oh, I don't want kids.
Yeah.
Like, well, I always thought you wanted kids. No, I'm over it. Like,
No.
oh, you couldn't have told me that 5 years ago? Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. Communication's a good thing.
Yeah, I got married in like, kind of my early mid 30s, and by then, I kind of like knew what the hell like I liked and what I didn't like and thought. So for me, it was like, when I started dating my wife, because we knew each other for a year beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had hung out with her, we knew each other enough, but it was just like we were both like adults when we made that decision. So
That's a
it's just
great
like,
point. Yeah, I was like 26 maybe.
Yeah,
27 when I married.
I don't know. Like I was just the bachelor for a big chunk of my like 20s. Like I just didn't find the person I wanted to be with. So it was like, I dated enough people to know what I did like and what I didn't like. So I would, I'm always just also a straight shooter. So I would just see what's
I
out
respect
there.
that about
I never
you.
try to like fucking, like pull a song and dance and be like, oh, this is, like I'm presenting myself as something I'm not. Like I was just always like, hey, here's me. And if you like it, cool. If you don't, fuck it. Like, move along, man.
Boomshockalocka!
Yes, baby. Yes. All right, good. So I like that one. We like that one. And if you don't like it, you'd say just move on. Just shut up and move on. All right, so we went over, the life pro tips. And I know you've listened to this show before. So a part of it is I ask people to reappropriate the LPTs, the life pro tips, and give me a Ladera pro tip. So
Okay.
hit me.
Ladera pro tip. Yesterday, my daughter finished 5th grade at OSO. And then my other daughter was, she's finished 2nd grade. So my pro tip is this. You, as parents, there's a lot of parents that go to these things. And when you do go, and you should go, you gotta show up correct. Balloons, flowers, some sort of like,
Wow.
like kids like displays, the whole deal. Like we thought we were in a pretty good spot. We got our balloons and then, whatever else, but there's kids, like the parents go all out.
Dude.
So the point is, if you're going to do it correctly or else your kid's going to feel bad. So, I'm putting it there.
I might be a Hall of Famer, dude.
Nah, it's the standard. So, like just do it. Like, and you saw the look on kids' faces when their parents didn't do anything. They just were like kind of looking around like, well, my friend's family did all this stuff. And there's like,
You're talking about the little singing thing they just did at OSO?
well, no. So graduation yesterday.
Oh, graduation.
So they call it clap
They didn't
out.
do an OSO graduation, did they?
No, they call it a clap out. So the kids literally come through the field. Like they bring them class by class.
Yeah.
And like everybody cheers them on. I mean, this place is so great. Like
I didn't even know that was going down,
for
dude.
For sure.
This is my kids go to OSO too.
Sounds like somebody needs to step it up.
Dude, what? I love it. Wow.
So, well, they did it.
I'm going to hit my wife up. Wait. What?
So for 5th grade,
Were there a lot of dudes there? What time did this go down?
I went down at like 11:30.
Oh, okay. So it was mostly moms, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, there was a good mix. That's what I was saying. Like, we
Friday or Tuesday. They got out of school
It was a
Tuesday,
Wednesday.
right? Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah. Or was it Thursday?
The clap out.
Yeah, so they like all the class, like 5th grade goes first because that's their last time being at OSO, right? Like that's their graduating.
Weren't even like crying.
Totally. My daughter was
Aw.
crying. She was super upset. Like she likes her friends. She likes the school. And again, like, I mean, Ladera just gives these kids this idyllic childhood. It's unbelievable.
That sad thing.
But I get it.
Don't get much better than this.
No. So pro tip,
That's a great pro tip though, for real.
If
like,
you show up,
sad trombone aside, that's a great one.
Totally. That's what you got to come correct. You got to do it. Make
My
your
pro
kid feel
tip
good.
is freaking A. Just
Show
know about the clap out, period, dude. Period.
Yeah.
I'm failing.
All good.
All right.
My wife runs the show, so I just go.
Yeah,
It's
mine
okay.
usually does too. I'm gonna have to hit her up on that. Like, babe, the clap out. Did
Yeah.
you miss it? My son probably wouldn't even talk to me if I was there anyway. No, just kidding. He would have said what up.
I don't remember doing it last year. I think it was an emphasis more this year because our daughter was in 5th grade. So, but like all the kids, all the classes marched, through, and everybody just cheered him on and was like, "Congratulations! Like did what you were supposed to do. Yeah, you're important.
Yeah, no, it's great. I think it's rad. I'm just sad, I guess, that I just feel like a little bit of a derelict for not even knowing about it.
Like I said, we didn't do it last year, so like that's just something.
11:30 though on a Wednesday. Ugh.
I know.
That's a big ask.
Yeah.
That's a big ask. I would do it, though, for the clap out. All right. Today I learned that giant tarantulas will keep frogs as pets, keeping them safe from potential predators. In return, these frogs will eat tiny insects that could otherwise harm tarantula eggs before they hatch.
Sounds like a good move.
Right? It's like those little fish, you see sharks, like big great white sharks, and they have, I don't know if they're called feeder fish or what, but I don't know if they're there to eat all the crumbs that the shark leaves behind, or if I don't know what they do, but I kind of like it that sharks always have their little homies,
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's like, what is it, a symbiotic relationship?
Ooh, big word.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Every now and then it brings
Bill Nye, the science guy. Hold on, remember that? Bill Nye, the science guy?
Yeah.
Bill. Maybe he was a West Coast guy.
No, I remember it. It's just my brain's a little cloudy from all the years of.
So, what was the last concert you've been to?
Well, big concert. I went and saw Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh,
and
nice.
Jane's Addiction up in Anaheim.
Is Billy Mellencamp?
No. What's his name? Why am I spacing his name? The lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. Billy Corgan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jane's Addiction opened up for him.
Wow.
And I was a huge Jane's fan growing up, but I got to be honest.
I thought they broke up for some reason.
Oh, they did. They
Okay.
did. I mean, it was Perry Farrell and like one of the other dudes. Like Dave Navarro's not in the band anymore, but
what does he even do anymore?
Navarro?
Just Foo Fighters only?
No, Dave Navarro, not David.
The drummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Dave Navarro was a guitar player for Jane's Addiction. So he was like...
He was also in Nirvana Foo Fighters, right?
No, you're thinking of Dave Grohl.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad.
Different
Dave. Whoops.
Different
yeah,
Daves.
Okay, yeah.
But,
Navarro, was he STP ever?
No, he was in Jane's Addiction, and then he was part of the Red Hot Chili Peppers
that's
for a
where I
while,
know
too,
him
in the
from.
90s. So
He ain't no Frusciante, though, dude.
No. So
what the hell is
came out.
Frusciante doing these days?
He's playing with the Chili Peppers still. Like
what?
Yeah,
I thought he bounced, or they.
He bounced. He went back. I don't know. I stopped listening to them. They got like way too big in mainstream.
It's like one of my favorite bands ever, dude.
Back in the day, they were awesome.
Point Break.
Yeah.
Anthony Kiedis, right,
Totally.
dude? So
Totally. Well, dude, I'll trump you on that one. First
Cameo Trump.
Yeah. No, that movie Thrashin'.
Oh, dude, Josh Brolin, right?
Dude, well, Josh Brolin, but the Chili Peppers play in that
Yeah.
movie at the band.
Yeah.
And that's how I literally.
Oh, I
got
thought
into
that was Boomshockalocka.
Yeah.
Hey, learning experience in Carl's Casita here. Dude, wow, that was a great call out.
Yeah, no.
That Thrashin', if you guys haven't seen Thrashin', dude, wow, it's like.
That was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Growing up on the East Coast, and it's just like all I wanted to do was skate. So I saw that movie, and it was like literally that's how I heard about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I started listening to them back then because they did a song there called Black Eyed Blonde, and it was like I remember hearing that in the soundtrack. I was like, cool. And then I also started listening to the Circle Jerks because that was in there.
Oh hell
and
yeah!
It was just like but yeah. So Chili Peppers, I started listening to way back in the day. I know I sound like that guy, but it was like by the time like Blood Sugar Sex Magic got like super huge. We'd already been listening to them for years, and then they got big, and we're like done. But anyway, bringing it back, concert was Jane's Addiction, Smashing Pumpkins. It's pretty good. I saw another band called Alkaline Trio. Unfortunately, like
I remember Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
They were good.
They are.
Are they Aussies?
No, they're from Chicago.
Okay.
So I'm a big punk rock guy. At least I used to be.
Yeah,
But,
Alkaline's like literally like punk rock. I feel like it's like rocky kind of poppy.
Yeah, no, they
Punk,
were. I mean,
Alkaline.
They labeled them as pop punk or whatever.
There we go. Yeah, that's a good label
but,
for them.
they got some really cool dark shit, and it's like everything else.
Or like dark, like Turbo Negro, Wolf Mother.
Oh no! It's just like they sing about the devil all the time, but it's like kind of poppy, and like they do use like like they'll dress up as like priests, but like have like vampire teeth.
That's weird.
But it's like it's totally shtick, right? Like they're not like demonic or satanic.
Like Marilyn Manson shtick.
Nah, not as bad. They're just more.
Is it
fun
true about what they say about his rib or whatever?
Manson?
Yeah, give himself his own BJs. You never heard that?
I don't know. That guy's a fucking freak show.
Okay, so it could be true. Hey, you're a big music. You're like you know the most about music anyone ever met. So I'm like, hey, that was an urban legend kind of from when I was a girl.
I don't know. He was, dude, like, his music is music. I mean, I just never really got into him. Like, all those people do shit like that for a shtick, right? It's just like one of my favorite bands is Slayer, right? And they have all this demonic, satanic stuff, whatever. It's just done to piss people off. It's like the same thing with Iron Maiden, right? Like, they're not into the fucking devil, right? I mean, there are black death metal bands that like that shit, but like, I think it's just, it's like back in the day, like Motley Crue, they would shout at the devil just to piss the Christians off. And, now, like, it's so watered down.
Controversy sells.
Oh, for sure. But, music today is so just...
It's garbage. It's
hot.
Everything
is done for shock value. There's nothing to shock people anymore.
Like, where's the last great band? Like, who's the last great Chili Peppers? Like, who?
I don't know. I mean, I would say, like, the best bands of, my generation... and I have a different taste, so I like a lot of punk rock and stuff that not everybody listens to, but like, you really
Rancid.
Yeah, Rancid's fucking great, but I'm saying like real, like kind of like what is my generation's the Rolling Stones? Without question, it's the fucking Foo Fighters, right? Like, Foo Fighters are amazing. Fucking Linkin Park was amazing. Like,
Linkin Park was sick.
They
were because they had their own sound. Totally. They made their own genre.
Yeah, they brought
kind of like Rage Against the Machine, but way more better, catchier. It was sick.
They called it new metal. It's like them and Korn. Where like,
Korn. Yep.
Hair metal went away, and then it was like this weird, like, hey, what do we do? But
goth metal.
Yeah. But I just think. I don't know. Yeah, like, so I'm a total music freak. Like, probably seen 1,000 concerts in my life. Like
1,000.
Oh yeah. I started going when I was like literally like 13 years old, and it was like, it spanned whether it was punk or metal. I mean, I used to tour with the Grateful Dead for a little bit.
What do you mean tour? Like in their bus?
Follow them around when they go to different venues and like just.
Would they let you in for free?
Well, no. Like so like the Dead. Like before this.
That's what they call the Deadheads, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they literally would just follow the band around all over the country and all over the world. So it's like this whole
big tailgate party.
Yeah, like this big traveling spectacle. So it's
like where would they all stay?
Well, that's the whole point. You just like sleep in your car. You sleep in a van, and you're going from one. Like and you're talking 60 to 100,000 people at these events.
Holy shit!
There's like a subculture that travels around, and it's like
they just love acid over there, huh?
It's like they're selling veggie burritos and tie-dye shirts, so you can make money to go see the Dead. But like,
how long do they play for? Because aren't they known for playing for like hours?
Yeah. Well, the Grateful Dead now is gone. I mean, I saw them when they were actually the Grateful Dead with Jerry Garcia, and he died in '95. So I saw my first show in 1990, or was it '89? Yeah, and '89. And it was just total life-changing experience. But I mean, it's just like, of course, this is the first time you get drunk, you get stoned, you're hanging out with like, this crazy world of like, counterculture. But yeah, so like I was always into music, but it's just like, like people laugh. They're like, you like the Dead? And I'm like, yeah, I fucking like the Dead. And then, but again, I'm also like, I fucking love Motorhead. I love Slayer. I love like the like you name it, I fucking love it. I love classic country as well. Like, fuck yeah.
Country's one thing I never really got into.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everybody's there.
Like Roy Orbison classic country?
Like Johnny Cash. Like
okay. Now we're talking. Yeah.
Fucking give me some Willie Nelson. But yeah. Like,
okay.
I was big into like jam bands too, like Allman Brothers and just like, that sort of stuff. So music, I just fucking love it. I love it. When I lived in the city up in San Francisco, I was really into punk when I was there.
What was your go-to venue out there?
So there's a couple. There's one called the Parkside. There's another one called the Bottom of the Hill. Those are that's like core San Francisco punk without question.
Till this day?
Till this day.
Okay.
For sure. Bottom of the Hill is well known. Same thing. The Parkside is called. But there was another place called Slim's.
Live music every night?
All the time. But it's like, we got to see so many amazing bands come through there that were like before they got big, you know what I mean? And it's just like, it was just fucking amazing. It was just like 10 years of it. And like, I was in my 20s, so I wasn't like a young kid. Like I had money to go to the shows and my friends were into it too. We were all just into music. And so we got to, like go see all these amazing bands. And I knew some, my roommate was, he was a creative guy. And he did album covers and CD covers and stuff like that for a couple of the labels. So, he knew these people. So like they'd come into town, like when Warped Tour would come in, I'd be backstage with these people, like hanging out with, like literally like these huge fucking bands. And, you know,
How would you get back there? You know someone or?
yeah, my roommate knew him. So it's just like, here you go. Here's your backstage pass. Like, let's go hang out with the Offspring. Let's go hang out with Joan Jett. Let's go hang out with like
Offspring's sick.
Yeah.
Joan Jett's sick.
Yeah, so that was like a 10-year period of my life.
Would they party back there? Were they mellow?
It depends on who it was. I mean, I definitely partied with some people like pretty hard, and then some were just like, dude.
Tell me a story.
Let's see. I mean, I definitely got, you know, they're like.
You can use a swim. Somebody who isn't me, swim. We could throw a swim in here. That's fine.
Nah, I don't want to.
There's a lot of swims out there. Hey, but call them swim.
Yeah, no.
Call them swim.
I would just say, like, I've definitely been to a gentleman's club with some of these guys, and like all the rumors are true. You know,
just
what I mean?
making it rain.
But powdery substances all over.
Oh,
you know,
man.
dancers and just
Straight out of the movies.
Fuck yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
just-
Like, if I'm a rock star, I'm gonna do that shit too. You know, like why be fucking boring? But you can tell
That's
why they
so
all.
true,
you know,
right?
they all
You've
sober
got to
up.
if you're a rock star.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they all sober up. So that's the thing is like I see some of these.
And then they start sucking.
Yeah, or they. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just they go down that track, and then they have to because it's like you're either gonna, you know, the train's gonna go off the rails, or you know you're just not gonna make it. So I saw a lot of progression of like people that were like partying and having a good time, and then they went into like a really dark place. Like
And lost their career,
Yeah.
or they brought it back together.
some of them brought it back, but like I just remember hanging out with, you know, a couple of, you know, these bigger bands or whatever, and some people, and like just being like, wow, man, you fucking suck. Like I wish I didn't meet you because like I love your music, but you're a fucking asshole.
You're a dick.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Like I mean, it's like Rick James
That's
says,
sad.
cocaine's a hell of a drug. But you know, I just watched. So I don't know. Again, I was just a hanger on. So like I was just part of the party, but I wasn't like in that scene. Like I wasn't part of their circle, their inner circle. But I got to hang out with a bunch of them, and it was cool. It was really cool. But like I said, I met a couple of people that like I hung out with them. I was like, God, you suck, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm just like I
That's a
thought you were
bummer, too,
cooler.
yeah, people shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? There's no.
I mean, but
no
again,
reason for
like
any of
everybody
that.
comes at these people and treats them like they're a god, right? So
Yeah,
you
that
know,
or like a piece of meat needing
Yeah.
something maybe.
So it's just you know I see how it weighs into them. But yeah, so like the music thing, at least when I lived in San Francisco, was fucking amazing.
So is the Fillmore whack or what?
Fillmore's great.
Okay.
Absolute history.
Yeah, I remember going there when
Yeah,
I was in SF.
yeah. And the cool thing is like every concert they give out posters.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a bunch, and it's just like, you know, I just got used to it, and like now that I'm removed from it, I'm like, God.
I wish I
man.
still had all those, or where
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah, I have some. I have a bunch
Good.
like framed, but still, it's like, so yeah, like
I love old rock posters. They're expensive, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but like that was such a
Talk
fucking,
about a collectible. That's why if I
Yeah.
ever have time and I'm at Goodwill or whatever, I always go shuffle through the art.
Yep, exactly.
You know, movie posters too, like
Exactly.
actual real ones with the serial numbers on them. You know what I'm saying? You know what your rock posters look like,
Totally,
dude.
totally. No, I live
Fillmore
for-
does it right.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, that's what's cool. And I'm looking around your office. This is kind of like my office.
Yeah, Craig Stesic art right there. You
Yeah,
know who that
yeah.
is, right? Doug Down Z Boys. Yep.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
dude.
Yeah,
He signed that shit.
nice.
Yeah, I love him. He's
Yeah.
also a photographer.
Yeah.
I'm a big photographer.
Yeah, yeah. Your office is kind of similar to mine, where it's just got like nothing but like, you know, lot of like journey. You can tell as far
Yeah,
as like
dude.
toys and you know just shit like
Stuff.
you know grown up kids is what we are.
Love it, dude.
Boomshockalocka!
Couldn't have said it better myself. Respect. So I always ask people to, you know, describe Carl's casita. We call this room the casita because it's disconnected from my house. So I guess it's just, I don't know. That's what they called it before I moved in.
I mean, I would say it's like it's part, you know, like it's your workspace, but
Yeah.
it definitely has an artistic flair, like feel to it. Like you definitely have that like that artistic kind of, you know, vibe, right?
I like
you can
that.
tell your shit makes sense, and like the way you put things around here isn't just like haphazard, right? Like, and I think that's just a crazy.
Boomshockalocka!
Yeah. Like you're saying that you're a photographer for a long time. It's like, duh, I can tell you're creative. Like your place doesn't,
thank you.
you know, it looks like. It's just like, oh wow, how did he figure out how to do that? You know, or like how do you know? It's just like I've known enough creatives that just this is the way they see the world. So you know,
Dude, wow. I'm going to have, that might be a Hall of Fame response right there.
it's a creative space, man. I dig creativity.
Yeah, right. It's, you got to always have it. One of my life pro tips that I didn't use tonight, I probably won't use it on a future episode, was never stop creating. life pro tip: never stop creating. And that could apply to many things, but it's just saying, like,
100%.
don't ever become dull. Always find something to keep, I don't know, keep the juices flowing, challenge yourself. That's how this podcast came about. I absolutely love talk radio. I remember there were times when I was a little kid driving with my dad, back when Howard Stern was on FM radio, back in the day when he was on FM before I went to Sirius and all that. I'd be, a little kid driving to elementary school, 4th, 5th grade. And, I don't know, he was great. He was crazy. He was groundbreaking. And, maybe right before he's about to spank somebody or before he's like getting really gnarly in a story, my dad would always like change the channel. I'd always be like, oh, what? And then I just like, that always stuck with me. So I think radio or talk radio, I think it's one of the best mediums to get to know a person's personality. And I really like the fact that people can't see you per se, so they can't make, judgments. Sometimes when people see someone and they'll make a preconceived judgment. Yeah. If you have tattoos, maybe, or you know what I'm saying. Exactly. So I really love the fact that radio, it just feels very intimate, And back when our nation was super wholesome before TV and all that, it was radio. Kids would sit around the radio and listen to stories or Roosevelt fireside chats, or and plus when shit hits the fan, I mean, it's really gonna be radio waves.
No, I mean, I think it's great. I mean, again, it's just like, there's podcasts, but I like the idea of like the live radio shows too, where like, or just like, any sort of show where it's just like, it sounds lame, but like I watch Good Morning Football all the time. Like I'm a huge football fan. Like that's like, I'm like one of those fucking idiot Eagles fans that's like just loves football. So I can't get enough of it. But like, I'll watch like Good Morning Football and it's just like on, the NFL thing. And it's like, they're always bringing new, they have a cool little group of people there, but like, I used to watch the news in the morning. It's too fucking depressing now. I can't do it.
Bunch of bullshit
it's just like, so I'd go there just cause it's like, oh, this is cool. And if like, if I'm like driving around, like I have Sirius and I'll like turn on the, like sports stuff. That's just me. But like, I think it's something that like, like you get, you get brought into like a show or, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this again. You know what I mean? Like and it's like, I think like this is still like a town hall where you can have people that are like interacting with one another and you learn shit, right? Like we don't all just like bury ourselves on one side anymore. Or like, I feel like that's what we do. But no, I agree. Stern was fucking hysterical. I still listen to like talk radio. Like there's a station back in Philadelphia. And I like listen to sports talk radio there, and it just makes me laugh because you can stream it,
Yeah,
when you
like iHeart and all that. It's easy to get
like
nowadays.
When you hear like East Coast, especially Philly people, like talk about sports and like whatever else, it's just so funny because they're
raw, they're mean,
man,
they're mean,
harsh, dude.
Yeah,
they're so harsh and like. Dude, I fucking love it. Because it's just
hey, if you're getting paid millions of dollars a year, I'm gonna light your ass up too if you ain't performing, right?
But that's like it's the Philly thing, and they're always like, I mean, Eagles fans will fucking boo their own team if they're sucking, right? And they call them, they're like, oh, they're the boo birds, and it's like the mentality isn't like everybody. I get it. Tons of people hate fucking Eagles fans. I don't care. I'm one of them, so I'm not. But it's just that the idea is that they care so much that if you're not performing, it hurts them. Like it feels like it's an attack on them, and it's an attack on how they feel about you. So it's pretty cool. Like when you hear a lot of like these, major athletes will say, like playing in Philadelphia, they're like, dude, either people are like, I hate it, or they're like, I love it. They're like, these fans are fucking nuts, and they live for it. So it's like, I just think, for me, it's like, I didn't go when they won the Super Bowl. I didn't go to the Super Bowl there, but I went to the opening game at Lincoln Financial when they raised the first banner for them to ever win the fucking Super Bowl. And it was like, I have never seen a town, or I shouldn't say a town, the town of Philadelphia that happy. Like everybody had smiles on their face. Like everything was green and white. And I mean, people were fucking cheering and drunk. There were people crying. I mean, it was just like, it's such a thing where, again, I love like the kind of the Philadelphia culture. I didn't love it enough to stay there. Like that wasn't for whatever, but like
city of brotherly love.
Yeah. But I love it. I love Philadelphia sports teams. And it's like, people are always pissing on them. And I'm like, good. but that's, again, like, we don't fucking care if you don't like us.
Yeah,
Like, fucking
Philly
good.
people are sick, dude.
Yeah, but it's just like, again, like, people get a bad rap, and they're like, oh, they're trash. It's like, stop.
You're not as bad as Raiders,
Yeah,
dude.
I was
So
gonna
don't
say,
worry.
man, I've been to a couple.
You could get lower.
when I lived up in San Francisco, I saw the Eagles play a couple times. Each game that I went to, I was kicked out of. Each game.
What?
Because, well, the Niner fans were talking shit, whatever, and it's just like, of course, and was I sober, being a nice guy? No, I was there with a bunch of meatheads, and getting drunk. People were throwing, some dude threw a fucking bottle at our section.
Oh, that's jacked, dude.
Yeah,
That's
well,
bold.
he got jacked. That's
Nice.
what happened.
In the stands, just
Yeah.
blows thrown.
Yeah, no, I just fucking ran at him.
It's like Supercross.
For sure. Yeah, so like,
Gosh,
but
do they still do that at Supercross, you think?
Probably. But I won't go to another. I won't go see. I saw the Eagles play the Rams a couple years ago down here at the Coliseum. That was a violent fucking experience, right? Like, I was there with my family, and like, so nothing bad was going on, but like, I saw some serious blood, and I was like, I won't go to Eagles games anymore unless it's at home.
Wait, you saw fan fights, blood that
big
way?
Time. Like, I am talking like violent shit that I have, and I've seen a lot of violence in my life. That was scary, because people were just so angry, crushing one another. Like, and it was just like, I mean, like, people were getting soaked in blood, and I was like, really? It's a fucking football game. Relax, and you're not on the team, by the way. You're
Yeah,
sitting in the
right?
fucking stands, and those guys don't care. But yeah, so I don't know.
Just hammered. Freaking hammered.
Well, people are just angry now, and like, I don't know. I always tell, here's my pro tip, my pro Philly tip.
Okay, I like it.
Do not go to see your team play against the Eagles in Philadelphia. Don't do it.
Ooh.
You're not going to be treated nice. They don't look at it as like, hey, this is a nice contest. Just don't do it. Just don't do
What's
it.
going to happen?
I mean,
if I show up with my
yeah.
8-year-old daughter and we both have opposite jerseys on, what's going to happen?
They're probably not going to do anything to the kid, but you're going to get taunted, and people will talk smack at you and stuff like that. But if you show up and like, especially if you're like a Cowboys fan, oh Jesus, man, it's an assault on the city. So that's my pro tip: is
Assault on the
don't
city to wear
do it.
Cowboys.
don't
jersey.
show. And people do it. People do it every time I've gone.
It's
there's
like
always-
Raiders, dude.
Yeah.
You don't freaking.
Well, I'll never go to a Raiders fucking game in my life. There's just no way. I mean, but that's more
I
like,
used to go when I was a kid when they were in LA.
well, it's more out of respect. Like, I don't want to go to a hometown and cheer against them. You know what I mean? There's fan bases.
Bo Jackson was fucking the
Oh, yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, I saw the Raiders when I lived up north. I'd go and cheer for them. Same thing with the Niners. I've seen more Niners games than most.
Yeah,
quote-unquote-
Candlestick. I'd never been to their new
Yeah.
stadium yet.
Yeah, no, I went. My buddy's family had season tickets on the 20-yard line, row 3.
Wow.
Until they moved out of Candlestick. So I saw more, and nobody wanted to go because the Niners sucked at that point in time. So I saw probably at least 20, 25 home games. So
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's great seats.
but they were terrible. They weren't winning. So like, everybody bailed, but they went down to Levi's, and now it's a nice stadium. But like, that was like, people like fucking rag on Philly, but like San Francisco and like in the Candlestick.
Where is Santa Clara? Because don't they call that Silicon Valley? Or
Yeah. Yeah. That's right near San Jose. So it's like, it's about
Hour from the
Yeah.
city.
at least an hour. Yeah. It's pretty far down.
So you never hung with like San Jose dudes.
Oh yeah, no, I used to go to San Jose with work all the time. It's just that like, as far as like, I'd go down there for work, but like, my friends didn't live in San Jose. It was way too far.
How far is Cupertino from San Francisco?
Same thing. They're right.
Same.
Yeah, they're all Cupertino, San Jose, Santa Clara. That whole area is like right around the same place.
Shoot. Have you ever been to Apple HQ?
I went to the original, not after they rebuilt it.
Same location, they just rebuilt
Yeah,
it.
they just added it. So like, yeah, I mean, I've been to it. I've been around it. I haven't been on like the new like, the circular building, whatever. Like they built it and then the pandemic hit, so I was like, oh, not gonna go there.
What's the nicest tech campus you've seen?
I worked for Adobe for a bit. They had a really nice campus. I mean, I've been.
Wait, did they just relocate everything to Utah, or are they still?
Adobe?
Yeah, or no?
No,
they just built a nice ass office out there.
Oh, they
Big one.
have a huge one in Lehigh for sure.
Okay.
But no, their headquarters is in San Jose, so they. I
Okay.
mean, it's nice. I worked in the San Francisco office, but I would go down to San Jose. I would say, like, as far as like nice campus, whatever. Of course, it's gonna go to fucking Google. Google and Facebook. At
It's
least
because of all the free shit they would give.
yeah, totally. I mean, I worked at a place called Dropbox, and
Oh yeah, I know
it was
Dropbox.
pretty fucking amazing. Like 5-star meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Free
Yeah,
cafeteria,
totally. Free cafeteria, free bar, free coffee,
free drinks. You mean
yeah, for sure.
during the day?
Nah, they wouldn't open it up until like 4. I mean, you can go in there if you really wanted to, but like, I mean, I
You don't want to be that guy.
yeah, well, people were. I worked at a bunch of startups, and people would start pounding.
All the sales guys. Huh?
Yeah.
Man,
Well, no, people would just start
maybe.
pounding. That was kind of the way it was, and like all the stereotypes about startups.
Hit those numbers, you do what you want.
Exactly.
That ain't no stereotype,
Yeah,
dude.
well,
That's a rule I have found true in any business.
I
For
was just
sales, you hit numbers, you do what you want.
Yes, exactly. But like what I was saying is, the stereotypes of startups are totally fucking true. I've worked for 4 of them, and they're all the same. Where it's just like, there's a bunch of venture money comes in.
How, like Series A or B? A's nothing, huh?
A's nothing. No, I'm talking like B and C. And then it's just like, so you get hundreds of millions of dollars, and then there's no one that says no as far as like cost of things, or like, oh, we should all, this team, we should all do like, you can, let's all go to this conference in fucking Australia. Sure, let's go.
Dubai.
Like, so everybody goes, but there's like,
And it's all rent Lamborghinis, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
but it was fun.
And
but
find a way to expense these cookers
everything.
and
Yeah, but like all
Coke.
the food's
God damn
provided, like,
Yeah.
the bar is always stocked, and it's just, for me, like,
How many of them actually made it?
dude, 95% fail. It's
With hundreds of $1 million in.
yeah. I mean, probably not with that much. But
Tens of millions.
yeah, like, I mean, the thing that I've seen is, basically the idea that a startup is going to form, and then it's going to IPO, and then you're going to be a multimillionaire. That doesn't happen anymore. What happens is these companies, they're used as incubators, and so they get some funding, and they put something together, and then one of the big companies will buy them. So like, best example I could say is Slack, right? So Slack took off. Everybody knew it was going to do well, and Salesforce bought it. The fuck does Salesforce have to do with Slack? They don't. It's just a big tech company that has a shit ton of money, right? So now everybody uses Slack. But the idea is that Slack, like, you're not going to get another, something like that. Like, there's the big companies will buy it, whether it's a Google or a Facebook or an Apple or an Adobe. Like Adobe just bought, Figma, which is like a sketch tool. Like that,
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that would rival Adobe. So they just bought it for fucking $20 billion. So,
20 billion?
20 billion.
But that's an actual legit
yeah.
program. That's not some social media like
No,
unproven
no.
bullshit. That's
No,
an
but
actual
They all
proven
get absorbed.
real world program. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah. I just think my point is they all get absorbed. So the idea that you're going to go to a startup and then you're going to be there when the IPO and you're going to cash out is not
that would
happen.
never be my goal if I had a startup. My goal would be to sell it to Amazon or sell it to
Right.
Adobe or sell it to
Oh, for sure.
one of these big guys before it could ever get to
Well,
that
the
phase.
founders do that, yes. But like, being from the guy on the inside that was trying to get people to come work for us, it's just like that dream is just fucking gone. It's just gone. So like, if you're
Why? So you're saying going public is the only option now?
No, you're gonna get other company stock, but unless you're like original like 50 or original 100 of a startup, you're never gonna get cashed out like what people saw before, right? Like those days are fucking done. If you're brought in and you're a high level, like they're gonna set you up, but you're not gonna hear about some kid that joined it as like an assistant, and 5 years later he's a multi-billionaire. Like those days are not fucking ever gonna happen again, right? So that's my tech pro tip.
I like it,
if
dude.
if your kids say I want to go work for a startup, be like, dude, just get ready, because most of them fail, and unless you are on the charter or like part of the original org, you're gonna get something, but you're never gonna see that shit again. You're never gonna see a Google or a Facebook or like where people like really made it. Like those days are fucking gone.
That's so interesting.
And the people that
You're
get
basically saying all the ideas have been taken.
yeah,
That's
there's
what I'm
more.
hearing from you right now.
The ideas will get bought by a big company. That's the
Before they can IPO.
Yep, 100%.
Which I would rather have.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny. Like you see people that think this stuff, and I hear a lot of it from youth, and I mean, it is. You got to have dreams, but it's just like it just makes me laugh because I'm like, you have no idea. Like, and those companies, they love it. They love youth. They love the idea of somebody that's going to come in there and work their ass off, and put in all that time. But do you really think they give a fuck about you?
Yeah, do they cap you with age limits on certain positions?
That's
probably legal. I'm not going to ask that question.
No, that's the problem. Is they
ageism,
don't,
right?
Well, they need to hire older people because
they know more shit.
Older people, you wouldn't fucking have all these failures.
Boomshockalocka is only got the one.
Yeah. So,
wow.
I don't know. Like I said, like those. That's just like the reality of it. But I just think like so like I'm a recruiter. That's what I do, and I work in tech. So like. Another pro tip, any of the dads that are listening to this or the moms or whatever, it's just like, okay, your kid wants to do something like, and they're going to go to college. My advice would be make sure they understand the degree that they sign up for directly impacts if they're going to get a job out of school or not. Right. So, if you're going to get a generalized degree, do not expect that you're going to get a huge, job right out of school unless you know somebody. It's all about networking and it's all about knowing somebody. But plain and simple, if you get...
You mean a film major is not going to be a computer programmer?
Well, no. I mean, a film major at least is specialized. But I'm saying like, and I got a degree in communications, right? Like, so...
But we're the last of the great.
I'm
the last of the Mohicans.
Exactly. But like, if you don't have a specialized degree and you don't... Like, I always tell people it's like, I know nobody knows what they want to do, right? But if you get...
It's hard, dude, right out of high school.
Yeah.
But I want to party, dude. I want to chill.
But if you
want to surf,
if you get a degree, in English, and then you're applying for a design job or an engineering job that you don't have any training and or, education, like why would you get that job?
Yeah, you
You know what I mean? And like I come across that all the time where it's like, well,
that's common sense. Why would you ever major in English if you want that job?
I'm just, and it's just like, I mean, I just come across a lot of like entitled kids that went to like, one of the Ivies or like one of the top schools.
Do the Ivies even have the weight they used to have? Or is it just an overpriced freaking...
Not to me. Not at all. I mean, it's just, again...
I think inflation for college has gotten some of the most... It's like insane. Textbooks, all of it is like 600% or something higher than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm going to send my kids to college, but, I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like, dude, like, if you don't have a clue what you're going to do, you're going to go to a state school that I can afford. I'm not going to send you to a private school and put you in debt $300,000 and you still don't know what you're going to do, but it sounded fun. So
unless it's MIT.
Yeah, well,
I'll do it for MIT.
Yeah. I mean, there are schools that like carry that sort of like cachet and weight, like MIT for sure, right? If somebody's just like, so Carnegie Mellon's a really good school for, there's a bunch of like software engineering schools that their programs are amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Carnegie Mellon, you're gonna get a job right out of school. Like there's one down here, Harvey Mudd, which is like they all get jobs because they're taught really, really well. But these are intense academic.
Where's Harvey Mudd?
It's down here in LA somewhere.
I haven't heard of it. It's a business school or what is it?
No, it's a school. It specializes, like, they have a good career computer science program. Obviously, I gravitate towards that stuff because that's like...
Is it a like a 4-year university?
Yeah, Bachelor of Science.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm just saying there's, like, programs that, schools that have those programs that you're gonna get, looked at, right? There are companies...
So, like, will you hire kids from DeVry or whatever?
No.
Okay.
Not right out. No. I mean, I'm never going to knock somebody for going to something like that. But for me, I generally hire people that are like, pretty far into their career. But when I do hire more, junior kind of either, I try to go with master's students most of the time. But like for me, like, I work in gaming, like I'll hire people from like I mentioned Carnegie Mellon or RIT, which is Rochester Institute of Technology, DigiPen's up in Seattle. USC has got an amazing program. SMU has Guildhall.
SC has an amazing programming, computer science program.
Well, computer science and gaming. So, but like I said, it's like I get it. Not everybody wants to, knows what they want to do, but like I don't want to hear the complaints about my kids, $200,000-$300,000 in debt. Well, they went to a really expensive private school and got a generalized degree. How is that my fucking...
Well, coders make good money, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everybody should be...
How hard does a coder work compared to a sales guy? A good coder versus a good sales guy?
Yeah.
Who's surfing more?
Yeah, I mean the sales guy can make it, but you gotta, you eat what you kill. Like that's I've been in sales too, man, and it's just like if you're
No, but I'm saying like who has more free time?
oh, the sales guy for sure.
Okay,
But
so
the sales
coders
guy-
are always like
yeah.
desk monkeys.
Well, I mean, it depends what they do, right? Like they start in coding, but eventually those people move into management or they move into like different parts. But yeah, like I mean, engineers are always gonna have a job. If you're good, you're gonna have a job. There's never
That's
enough.
any industry, anything you do.
But yeah, I'm saying for like computer science specifically,
Yeah.
like there's never enough great engineers.
What language do they build games in?
We use something called C++.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
kind of old school, right?
yeah. I mean, it's like there's languages that aren't going to go anywhere, right? It's like Java, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to go anywhere. There are flashy languages that come up, like a Python, right? Like, or it was also like 15 years ago or 10 years, 15. It was like Flash. Everything was done in Flash. Well, nothing's done in Flash.
Flash was sick. I remember Flash, dude. Adobe had Flash.
Yep, they
Yeah.
did. And then, but
After Effects, all
Yeah.
that shit. Yep.
I mean, I think it's like with anything else, though, you got to stay current, right? But again, like just to like the moms and dads out there, it's like just go in there with your eyes open and don't you shouldn't just say, yeah, kid, like you're gonna go to this school and you're gonna be in debt and then think you're gonna come out and get rid of that debt just because you got a degree. Like that is the biggest misconception out there right now. So like when I hear all this stuff of like, oh yeah, you have to have a college degree, and it's like, yeah, I get it, but or you can start your own business or you can do something beyond like what everybody else does, right? And it's like what you study, where you study, what you know, what you do with it. So just because you go to like one of these big schools, and if you don't chase like internships or the alumni,
Yeah, that's how I got my first job at a college, was an internship.
yeah, that's how it works. Like so, again, it's like everybody has their own experience, but I'm just I just hear so much about like parents are saying, oh, I spent all this money on my kid's education, and now they're living with me. It's just like, well, where were you? Did you guide him? Did you tell him what to do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had friends like that too from my generation, but it's like, I'm just saying, like, school wasn't as expensive back then as it is now.
True.
Like, it's
True.
astronomical.
True.
So, that's my
Well, hey, man, I like it. I like it a lot. Oh. Don Johnson time. Oh, you know what that sound is? Well, that is our Urban Dictionary words of the week. First one. You ready for it?
Bring it.
Ready for it? It is Philadelphia sunscreen.
I can't wait to hear this one.
Come on, guess.
Philadelphia fucking sunscreen. It's got to be some sort of like rank chemical.
Okay. It says, using an empty sun cream container, preferably the spray kind, as a vessel to smuggle alcohol into events where it's prohibited.
That sounds like a Philly thing for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
It doesn't even say if they washed it out. Hopefully they washed it out first. Probably not.
That's actually a fucking great idea.
Oh, that's good, huh?
That is a good one.
Yeah. It says, I hear the security is really strict at this gig. I think I'll just have a Philadelphia sunscreen.
Yep.
What do they say? It's sprayed in their mouth, or how do they get it in there? I'm intrigued now. How do they crack it open and get it in there? I got some old Neutrogena bottles laying around.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, Philly, they like to get, any event, any fucking sports.
Yeah,
event,
right?
People are drinking. Like that is like, like tailgating is like just. I mean, it's like you go to these sporting events, and I mean, there's always people that are like literally passed out, blind drunk. And you're like, do you even know where you are right now? Like it's just we used to do that. We'd always go to sporting events and just party in the parking lot. Like that's what you do.
Yeah, right. Hope your friend grabs you when it's time to bail.
Yeah, exactly. Or figure out who's sober enough to drive home. We definitely had a lot of those.
Oh, well, at least you guys had trains and good public transport out there.
True
that.
that.
I mean, it was just like bike or walk if you were no car. All right. Ratchet. This is an easy one. Ratchet.
My kids say that all the time. Isn't that like badass or something?
Oh no, it's basically just like a person that's rank. A diva, especially one from an urban area.
Oh, okay.
Who incorrectly believes she is every man's dream.
But she's ratchet.
She's ratchet, yeah. Like
Yeah.
someone who just thinks she's all that, but she's not.
Gotcha.
Ratchet.
Well, there was some song that they were singing along to, and this, the line was like, bougie, sexy, ratchet.
God,
they were
dude! I can't even do this new hip hop nowadays. With all the, I was like raised on Pac and Wu-Tang and Biggie, and
it's again like I can't go near it, but I hear them say ratchet, and I'm like, sure. Like the
Tribe,
The funny thing now is like this makes me laugh. These kids thought they invented this. They're like saying, "Oh, I slay that."
What?
Yeah, like they thought they wrote that.
Oh
like,
my gosh,
I'm like,
dude!
Everything that you think we already
Barneys.
did, right? Yeah, I'm just like
Clowns.
I'm such a slayer. I'm like, no, you're not.
Although one thing I never say here is goated. Everything's goated. It's so goated.
I haven't heard that
like,
one.
You know what GOAT is? GOAT, like greatest of all times.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you're goated, you
Gotcha.
know, you're like super sick, I guess.
Yeah. No, it just makes
Goated,
me laugh
dog.
when they come up
Or
with
that's goated.
Yeah.
Goated. All right, last one. Blame storming. Blame storming.
I don't know, you just freak out and you're blaming everybody but yourself.
Pretty good. Yeah, it says collectively or individually finding something to blame for a problem, as opposed to brainstorming, which connotates finding solutions to a problem. It's just basically finding something to blame your shit on. So you're a blame stormer.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, why would you want to accept, the blame when you can just put it also on somebody else and then make yourself look like the hero, right?
Pass it down the road.
Exactly.
Like the Dems do. Just pass it down the line, dude.
That's all we do. All they do these days.
It's sad. It's really sad. Oh, I heard the price of eggs went back down. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the price of a dozen eggs has crashed back down to earth, falling from $5 per dozen all the way down to 84 cents a dozen, that's wholesale, according to the USDA. This surprised the analysis of the egg industry, coming after 59 million birds were killed last year to bird flu outbreak. Blah blah blah. Nevertheless, it's good news, April, that egg prices are going to fall 33% year over year over the course of 2023. Did you ever see how gnarly eggs were or experience buying?
Oh, no. I mean, groceries in general were astronomically expensive, but like I was even commenting to my wife this. So like on Sundays, I like to make steaks on the grill, like Sunday night steak dinner. So I don't go super bougie. I just go out to fucking Stater Brothers, right? Like, they've got good.
It's all about how you marinate it.
Totally. But so I always just get New York strips, right? So now New York strip is like $9.99 a pound, whereas a year ago it was like $16.99 a pound. So it's like, there's another pro tip for you, by the way. So Stater Brothers, get the New York Stater, or just the brand, right? Their brand, not the USDA Prime, because I got both of those and literally didn't tell my daughter like which one was what. So I gave her the one that's $20 a pound versus the one that's $10 a pound. And I was like, which one do you like more? And she's just like, oh, this one's much better than that. So the one that was half the price is better than the one that says USDA, whatever. Just, I mean,
pro tip.
Totally. So it's like, I've seen that. I saw that go down, and that makes me happy, because before it was just like, holy shit, dude, $20 a pound, like you're not going to be like, like, I don't care how well you're doing. Like, yeah, like that's still going to give you a little pause. Like when you're like, fuck, really? For like, like one steak is $20, like at, Stater Brothers. I mean, you can go get like the Wagyu and the fucking, the snake eye and like all that shit. But, again, I'm not going to sit there and buy a ton if it's that much. But the price has gone down. So I think it's a lot easier to go to the grocery store.
I need to get like a barbecue cleaner guy.
Yeah.
If you know anyone, let me know.
Aren't there kids around here that do that shit?
I don't know. Do you know anyone?
Well,
their info.
There's Ladera Dad's Facebook page.
Like, it gets really dirty, like the drip tray or whatever.
Yeah,
like, I need all new pieces. I'm down for like a new grill top.
There you go.
Maybe even burners. I don't know. Yeah. All right. This was in the Reddit jobs forum, and I'm like, I gotta ask this recruiter HR. I mean, I guess are recruiters part of HR?
We're part of it, but I'm not like part of that that world.
You don't get the gossip, like all the good shit.
Nah, they don't want to tell us. We're the salespeople.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
Like, so that's my job as the company salesman. So it's like, I go out and.
How many people do you hire a week on average?
Not that many. I mean, it depends on like what I do, but like usually, I hire maybe like 3-4 people a month. Depends on it. So yeah, but I mean, it's like if you're hiring like at the high levels, like directors and C titles and stuff, you might hire 10 people a year. You know, I mean, it just depends. But like, you know, I would say I average like probably around, you know, three to four a month. But I tend to hire like mid to senior and then lead level. Like that's what we do.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Some companies, like, people are just hiring like somebody every day, but it like what I hire for like engineering or design, it is a lot more specialized.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, it's just different.
Right on. All right. So this was on the Reddit jobs forum. It says, very uncomfortable at a new job after involving hookers in a business trip. Dun, dun, dun. So I got hired in a company after moving to a new city. First few weeks were okay so far. Co-workers, despite their blunt way of communicating sometimes, are professional to the point and do their job. As this company is in a semiconductors industry, frequent business trips to Asia are to be expected and are part of my job. So a few days ago, I came back from the first trip in Asia with some of my new coworkers, and I admit to be baffled by what happened there. The first days of the trip was pretty usual. We dealt with the client, endless meetings and negotiations. Things went well and objectives were pretty much met. So we decided to relax, go visit the city, and eat at a restaurant. That's where things started to get weird. While we were drinking beer, my coworkers decided to hire local hookers for the night and blow some celebration. It was quite surprised because they are all married with kids. But hey, it's their private life. They and none of my business. I still felt it was gross, lame, and cringy. Yeah, amen. But again, as long as no one is hurt, they are free men. Yep, amen. However, they started to peer pressure me to go with them and participate in this prostitute party thing, scrolling pictures of girls on hooker websites, showing them to me. Which one would be for you? This one. You think she'll be able to fit you in? All right. So what should this guy, he basically goes on to say, should I ask HR or what? Or like, what does he do, dude?
I mean,
Like how does he knows that's got to be part of the territory by now? Like, is this a
I guess,
guy with no experience? Is this some entry level guy, or
yeah, I guess I'm.
you don't just get put in that position
that,
on accident, like, and be surprised by it, right?
I'm not condoning it, but that story does not shock me.
Oh, not at all.
Like,
I used to see it all the time in the
like,
surf world. You know, that company marketing card. Oh,
yeah. Like I'm just again like I get it. It's kind of shocking, but like, dude, just say no. I'm not into it and fucking leave. Like, how hard is that?
yeah.
Like,
Well,
do you really gotta?
I think he was afraid that they would fire him. Or
Oh, stop! Come on,
No?
man. Like that's just. I'm sorry. That's just part of this fucking pussy generation. You know what I mean? Like, stop being the victim. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. And like, oh, peer pressure. Shut up.
I know, right?
God, stop crying. Like, I get it. Like,
So what happens if he complains to HR there?
I mean,
This happened in Asia, and he would complain in the United States. Like, what are they going to tell him, you think?
it does happen. Like,
But what are they going to tell him?
they're gonna tell him to fucking narc on his coworkers, and then he's gonna be fucking screwed.
So he'll end up getting fired, and the coworkers will
No,
be chill.
they'll probably get fired, but nobody's gonna look at.
But how are they going to prove it? It's in Asia. Like,
yeah. I'm just saying, like, if it's like if nobody did anything to you, like, made you do anything, and you were uncomfortable, you're an adult, get up and fucking leave. You know what I mean?
yeah, and they're not
Like, come
hurting
on.
him.
Yeah.
They're obviously pieces of shit for doing that to their wife
I
and
mean, it's
having
just,
kids. But
don't cry about it, for God's sake. Like, just get up and leave. I mean, again, if they're like taking your money and making you do it, like, yeah, you got a case. But like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's appropriate, but I don't think that's like, you know, just tell them. Like, you can't stand up and be like, hey, I didn't appreciate that. I don't want to be part of that, right? Like, that's what you do. But if you're gonna go tell HR, just get ready to alienate yourself. Because they're gonna come at those people, probably get them fired, and then you're gonna be known as the person that did it.
yeah,
So
that's great advice right there. That's sage, baby. That's sage. That's sage.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, I know that shit happens, and I think, you know, there are definitely dudes that are just absolute fucking scum.
Yeah,
and I've seen that shit 100 times over. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, like,
To each their own. It ain't your business.
even as when I was younger, if like shit was like, I saw married guys fucking around with girls.
Yeah, you just.
And I was like, this isn't cool. I'm leaving.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly,
Like-
dude.
like-
Exactly.
Like, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, I didn't, you know, I felt uncomfortable. It's like, life is
just leave.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, dude.
Bounce.
Boom. That's
Sack
freaking
up, dude.
Sack up, baby.
You know,
Yeah.
Again,
Huevos.
yeah, I'm from a different world where, you know, like, again, that's like the thing in like the Philly mindset is just very different, you know, where it's just like you're not a fucking victim. You're
Never.
just not.
You guys
right?
are go-getters.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just like you don't put up with shit. And I'm not saying you got to fight everybody, but like if I was in a situation where somebody was making me feel that fucking uncomfortable, like I'm gonna sit there and say something, you know. And it's not like I don't understand why that's something you wouldn't even conceive. You know what I mean? Like
I fully agree.
I'm sorry, you're fucking, you know, you're just crying for the sake of crying.
Agree. Okay, wait. Hey, before I let you go, because we're coming up on our 90-minute mark.
Yep.
Speaking of uncomfortable situations, you gotta tell me about your ghost encounter. I'm a big paranormal guy, as you know. It's on my bucket list to see a ghost. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Hopefully, you know, they don't possess me. But
going back to the
I just want to see them, not be possessed by them.
Yeah, so going back to the East
Coast,
I
don't want them to touch me either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always tell people like you know, at least that, you know, and again, I have seen a ghost. I remember this very clearly and very vividly. This was not like some spun out imagination. This wasn't drug induced or anything like that.
No hallucinogens.
No. So it happened when I was a kid, and I remember I was, you know, living in a row home, and you know that's like the houses are all connected, right? So these are like city blocks, and these homes.
When was it built?
It was probably built in like the late 1800s.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay.
So, you know, these. You know, again,
history like we can't even fathom here. We can't even fathom that shit here in Ladera Ranch.
So, you know, I was living in a row home, and the home that we were living in was where my mom actually grew up, because my parents got divorced, and then we moved back there for a little bit. And the house that they were, like I said, it was built in the 1800s. So I was like there by myself, probably like, you know, I don't know, 11, maybe 12 years old, and I heard the sound of these slippers like walking around upstairs, like. You know, it's like, so just kind of
yeah. It's like sandals, kind of. But I get you. Yeah, they have a distinct sound. So have a distinct sound.
You know, it's all hardwood floors, and then you know, so I hear this, and it's, you know, this is a 3-story house, right? So I hear this, and you know, I'm trying to be like, you know, the tough ass kid that I thought I was, and I was just like yelling up. You know, I was just like, hey, motherfucker, I know you're up there.
4th grade, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1st and 5th grade.
Like 10th grade. 10, 11, 12. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so, like, you know, I go grab, like, one of my baseball bats or some shit, you know, thinking I'm...
Louisville Slugger, baby.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yeah, motherfucker, I hear you up there, blah, blah, blah.
Got Louis.
And I'm like, you're like, I ain't fucking around, you know, because I thought somebody broke in my house, you know, plain and simple. Shit. So, you know, I was like, okay. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm going to go up there and check this shit out. And I was like, yeah, even as a kid... You know, I was like programmed, like, I'm going to fucking pop this person. You know, like,
really, baby?
That was just, again, you know, like, that's just how you did it back there. But Rocky. So I'm like, I walk upstairs and like, I'm going through like one room to another. And then there was these 2 rooms that were connecting, like one bedroom to another. And I open the door and like, I'm walking and in, you know, like probably about 10, 15 feet from me was just this like silhouette, like this white silhouette of, you know, it was like an older woman, right?
Trippy,
and
bro,
like
what?
It was just like, so it wasn't fully intact, right? Like the legs weren't there, but like the torso was there, but it just...
What'd she have on?
It was just like it looked like, honestly, like it was like, I don't know if it was like a nightgown or clothes or just like, you know, whatever, because it was just like, dude, it fucking blew my entire brain, right? Like, where I was like, holy fuck, you know? So it freaked me out. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to go hit that with a bat. I was just like, holy shit.
Hold on, wait. Okay, so you couldn't see the legs because the dress was covering it, or just...
Yeah, they're just... It wasn't...
Could you see through it?
Yeah. You can see stuff in the background.
Was it like a cloud of smoke, like a bong rip, or like a...
No, it was just like I said, it was like different shades of white and kind of gray. Like you could see the outline of some stuff, and I could see the outline of the face, but it wasn't defined, right? So it was just kind of
gnarly.
Like... Yeah, it was...
Did it look at you?
Yes, 100%.
Whoa! 100%. And then it disappeared in front of you fast?
Yeah,
or you ran? You don't know when it disappeared.
Yeah, no, I ran.
Did it like turn and look at you? Or was it already looking at you?
No, it was looking at me, and it started coming towards me.
Shut up, bro! Now I'm getting the heaves.
Yeah, dude. I was just like, holy fuck.
So you turn around and run, and then you sleep in that house that same night?
I ran up to my aunt's house, and I was like, I told her what
How
what
far
happened.
was your aunt's house?
Probably like 6-7 blocks away.
Okay, damn, far enough. Yeah, that's a
but
good run.
Yeah, I was there in like 3 minutes.
I bet, dude.
So I like, and they're like,
Roadrunner.
Yeah, they're like, no, you're fucking making shit up. You saw something. You saw some scary movie or some stupid kid. And I was like, no, you don't fucking understand, right? Like, no, I saw this. And then one of my aunts was like saying to me, she was just like, okay, well, tell me what you saw, or tell me what happened. And I was like, dude, I heard the sound of slippers, right? And I saw what appeared to be like this older woman, but it wasn't evil, right? Like it wasn't.
Yeah,
this,
you didn't feel scared.
Yeah. Like,
well, I get you. You were shocked, not scared.
Yeah, and it wasn't like this whole like I'm coming at you kind of thing. Like, I mean, people say that all the time. Like, there's evil ghosts that will come at your spirits or whatever. This wasn't like that. This was just more like, holy fuck, And so I tell my aunt about this, and she's just like, your grandmother used to wear slippers and lived in this house. So
and you never met her?
No. Well, she died when I was 4.
Okay.
So I did meet her.
Okay.
But then the other story, we had talked about this before too. When I lived in San Francisco, this house.
Wait, but you lived in that house for years more, and you never saw anything again?
Yeah, never saw it again.
Okay,
never
nice.
Saw it again.
Okay, sorry. So San Francisco.
So then in
they got old houses there too.
Yeah. So I lived in an old apartment building that was built in like 1910, 1920. And we lived in the penthouse, and the guy that built the house built the penthouse for his mother-in-law, Maria. And literally, like, when you walk into the entrance to the house, again, this thing was built in like the 20s or 30s, and in tiles it says Maria, right? So she lived in the room that I lived in, and she died in that room. And there was multiple times for, I probably lived in this place for like...
She died in that room?
She died in that room, 100%. Yeah. So, and they told me that. They're like, oh, yeah, but I mean, this was decades ago.
Wait, they told you that when you were renting it?
Yeah.
Like, hey, someone died in here 50 years ago?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I was like, all right. Well,
why would they even have to disclose that?
I think I asked the question. I was just like, oh, who's that Maria? And they're like, oh, it's the mother-in-law that,
How sick was this penthouse?
It wasn't that great. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it was just like, it was built in like the 20s and 30s. So they never like upgraded it, but it was cool. It was like, it survived the earthquake. So it was pretty stable. But
how high? Like what floor?
3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't anything amazing, but for San Francisco, it's pretty fucking great. We got it during the downtime.
Okay, wait. So what happened?
So like the room I lived in, Maria died in that room, and there was multiple times where I was sleeping, and my eyes were open and I was looking around, but my body would not move, and I felt like something was just sitting on top of me.
Could you feel hands specifically?
100%.
What? Where was it holding you?
It was just like, because it was the back of my neck.
What the fuck?
But it was weird because it was like, it was paralyzing me where I could not move, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, I remember like trying to move and like couldn't move, right? And like and people are like, oh, that's like a sleep disorder, blah blah blah,
or sleep paralysis or whatever.
Totally.
Not if you feel stuff on you.
Yeah. So I felt that, and then I remember, there was a couple times,
dude, at least it wasn't like trying to molest you or something.
Yeah, well, hope not, but like there was times,
nice little cold touch on your genitals real quick.
Like pictures fell off the wall.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, like my CDs would go flying across the room.
I would love that. I'd be so stoked if I saw something fly across my room.
And it's just like, I remember seeing it, and I'm just like, and like it got to the point where, again, it didn't feel like it was like always like evil.
What do you mean? Holding you down in bed doesn't feel freaking malicious?
Yeah, they did. But
she's just wrestling with you, or what?
It wasn't constant. Like I did, it freaked me out, But there was a couple times where, like I'd hear something fall in my room.
Yeah.
And I would be like, hey, Maria, get the fuck out of there already. I moved in a long time ago, and it was just like,
yeah, you got to talk to him. You're right. That's what you got to do to him.
But it was, again, like there was times where it really freaked me out, but then there was times where I was just like, yeah, there's a fucking ghost that lives here. What am I going to do? Yeah. So.
I love it. Well, dude, wow, that's a great thing to just marinate on. You scared the shit out of me, bro. I'm ready for bed, dude. I'm going to say a prayers tonight. That is for sure. No, Derek, dude, thank you so much.
For sure.
You're definitely coming back on a future show, and it has just been a pleasure, man. You're a very unique character, and I value your points of view, and I value
That's
your
what
time.
the teachers used to call me. He's unique.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean, unlike things nowadays where they mean different for a bad way.
Yeah.
Nowadays that means different in a good way, dude.
Totally.
Like you said, it doesn't matter what people think.
Yep.
Just be yourself, and shit will always pan out. You always have homies. Just be true to yourself.
For
And
sure.
So thank you,
Word.
sir. You're the freaking man. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
And if there's any Eagles fans listening to this, find me. We'll watch the games this season. I get the NFL ticket.
Boomshockalocka.
And you're buying beers?
And I'll buy you.
I'm
beers.
coming over.
There you go.
Boomshockalocka.
Carl will be there. All right.
All right.
D Will, D Wild. Thank you.
You got it, bro. Take care.
Adios. You know this one, huh?
It must be getting early. Clocks are running late. Paint by number morning sky. It looks so phony. Dawn is breaking everywhere. Light a candle, curse the glare. Draw the curtains, I don't care, 'cause it's alright. I will get by. I will get by. I will get by. I will survive. I see you got your list out. Say your piece and get out. Yes, I get the gist of it, but it's alright. Sorry that you feel that way. The only thing there is to say, every silver lining's got a touch of gray. I will get by. I will get by. I will get by. I will survive. It's a lesson to me. The evils and the beggars and the seeds. The ABCs we all must face. Try to keep a little grace.
Boomshockalocka.